Before the last train is cleared and the tunnel goes silent, make sure you're still here. Subscribe to Emo Saga for stories where isolation sharpens connection, time runs out quietly, and love arrives before the doors close. The subway line is already dead when we arrive. No trens. No announcements. No distant rumble echoing through the tracks. Just water pooled along the rails, reflecting emergency lights in broken, trembling lines. I stop at the edge of the platform, boots hovering just above the wet concrete. This is it? I ask. Yes, he replies calmly. Last active inspection before evacuation. His voice carries easily in the tunnel, low, controlled, practiced. He's wearing the same dark uniform jacket everyone else does, but it fits him differently, like he belongs to places most people leave behind. The line closed 6 hours ago after a ruptured water main flooded the lower sections. Structural engineers cleared most of it already. Most. We're here for the final lockdown. The air smells like rust and damp stone. Emergency lights flicker along the walls, casting everything in dull amber. The sound of dripping water echoes constantly. Too steady to ignore, too quiet to locate. I didn't expect it to be this still, I admit. He glances at me. It's always like this once the trains stop. Always. Yes. That word again. We were assigned together by necessity, not choice. A short-staffed overnight crew. One final sweep of the flooded line to secure access points, confirm no one was left behind, and lock down the tunnel before the water rises further. 6 hours, they said. If the tide behaves. We walk the platform slowly, flashlights cutting clean lines through shadow. Our boots splash lightly through shallow water, each step echoing too loudly in the empty space. Stay close, he says without turning. Some of the tiles are loose. I do. Not because I'm afraid, but because the tunnel seems to narrow when he says it. The silence settles quickly. Not awkward. Intentional. We move with the same rhythm after a while, pause, scan, step log. He marks checkpoints in a small waterproof notebook. I confirm readings and radio updates that come through crackled and distant. The world above us feels impossibly far away. You've done this before, I say eventually. Yes. This line. No. But floods. Yes. I wait for more. Doesn't come. We reach the first service corridor 30 minutes in. Water drips steadily from the ceiling here, forming a thin stream that runs toward the tracks like it knows where it's going. He kneels to check the seal on a steel door. I watch the way his shoulders tense slightly as he applies pressure. The way he doesn't rush even when the radio crackles again. Doors holding, he says. For now. For how long? Long enough. I don't like that answer. The deeper we go, the quieter it gets. The emergency lights thin out. The water rises slightly, lapping at the sides of the rails. The tunnel curves just enough that the platform disappears behind us, swallowed by darkness. I become acutely aware of how alone we are. You all right? He asks, not looking back. Yes, I say. He nods as if he expected that. We stop near a maintenance alcove to log the water level. As I lean down to take a reading, my footing slips. It's nothing dramatic, but enough. He catches me instantly, hand firm at my elbow, the other steadying my back. Careful, he says quietly. I'm fine, I reply, breath uneven. He doesn't move right away. Neither do I. The contact is brief, but grounding. Then he steps back. After that, the awareness changes. Not fear. Attention. I notice how often he glances back to make sure I'm still there. He notices when I slow without saying anything. At one point, the radio goes silent completely. No signal, I say, tapping it lightly. He checks his. Same. Tunnel interference, he says. It'll come back. When? Eventually. That answer lands heavier than it should. We continue anyway. Protocol doesn't stop for uncertainty. 2 hours in, the water reaches the edge of the platform we're walking along. We adjust our route, moving closer to the wall, stepping carefully along narrow dry strips of concrete. Watch your left, he murmurs. I do. Our shoulders brush. Just once. I feel it long after we separate. We take a short break near an emergency stairwell that leads up to a locked street-level exit. The door is sealed, marked with a temporary evacuation notice. This stays shut, he says. No one goes up. Even us. Yes. For how long? He looks at the sign, then at the water creeping closer. Until we're cleared to leave. I nod slowly. We sit on opposite ends of a low-maintenance bench, boots dripping quietly onto the concrete. The silence presses in. Does it ever get to you? I ask softly. What? Being in places like this, I say. After everyone's gone. He considers. Only if I stop listening. To what? To what's still here? The answer shouldn't feel intimate. But it does. The water rises another inch. We both notice. We'll need to finish the sweep faster, he says. I nod. Lead. The final section of the line is the worst. No platform. Just track-level access, uneven footing, water covering the ties. We move carefully, flashlights bouncing off damp walls, shadows stretching and collapsing with every step. The tunnel feels tighter here. More enclosed. I can feel my pulse in my ears. You're doing fine, he says quietly, sensing it without looking. Thanks. I mean it. That helps more than it should. Halfway through the final sweep, the lights flicker. Once. Twice. Then stabilize. I stop walking. He turns immediately. Still okay, he asks. Yes, I say. Just tell me if that happens again. I will, he promises. We reach the last access point with an hour left. One heavy steel gate between us and open water beyond. He secures it slowly, methodically. When it's done, he exhales. That's the last one, he says. I feel a strange mix of relief and something else. Now we wait, I say. Yes. We head back toward the stairwell. The water is higher now. Not dangerous yet, but close enough that every step feels deliberate. The emergency lights buzz faintly overhead. You trust me? He asks suddenly. I look at him. Yes, I answer without hesitation. He nods once. Good. As we reach the sealed stairwell door, the radio crackles back to life. Evacuation in 45 minutes. Hold position. Do not attempt exit until clearance. I lower the radio slowly. We're stuck, I say. Temporarily, he corrects. Still, the word doesn't help. We sit on the bench again, closer this time. Not touching, but aware. The tunnel hums softly around us, water moving steadily, lights holding for now. I realize how attuned the silence has made me to him. His breathing. His presence. The quiet restraint in every movement. After this, I say quietly, everything goes back to normal. Yes, he agrees. And tonight just disappears. He looks at me then. It doesn't have to, he says. The meaning settles slowly. I don't reply, but I don't move away either. The water continues to rise, and time quietly starts running out. The water reaches the edge of the bench 20 minutes later. Not rushing, not dramatic, just inevitable. It creeps forward like it has all the time in the world, swallowing concrete inch by inch, carrying the faint smell of iron and earth with it. He notices before I do. We'll need to stand soon, he says calmly. I nod. How long until clearance? He checks his watch. 25 minutes. And if the water keeps rising? We move higher, he replies. Step by step. The steadiness in his voice settles something in my chest. We stand. The tunnel feels different now, less like a place, more like a decision. The emergency lights hum overhead, casting ripples across the water that make the walls appear to breathe. I shift my weight carefully. You okay? He asks. Yes. He doesn't look convinced, but he doesn't argue. Instead, he steps closer. Not touching. Just close enough that I can feel his presence without needing to look. The radio crackles again. Evacuation delayed. Water levels stabilizing. Stand by. I exhale slowly. So we wait, I say. Yes. Together. Yes. That word doesn't feel procedural anymore. We move to the stairwell, landing as the water climbs higher. Boots splashing softly. The metal steps are cold beneath my hands as I grip the railing. He stands just below me. If you lose footing, he says, lean back. I've got you. I trust you, I reply. He looks up at me then, eyes catching the emergency light. I know, he says. The waiting stretches. Time loses shape down here. There's no clock, no windows, Just the slow negotiation between water and space. We talk quietly to fill the gaps. Not about work. Not about procedures. He tells me how he ended up taking assignments no one else wanted. Places people avoided. Shifts that never filled. I like knowing where the exits are, he says. Even when they're sealed. And me? I ask. Where do I fit in that? He hesitates. You stayed, he says simply. Most people panic. I was afraid, I admit. Yes, he agrees. But you stayed anyway. The lights flicker again. Longer this time. My breath catches. His hand comes up instinctively, resting at my wrist. Not pulling, not gripping. Just grounding. I'm here, he says quietly. I know, I reply. Neither of us moves away. Another radio call cuts through the tunnel. Evacuation window confirmed. 10 minutes. Relief floods through me, sharp and sudden. But underneath it, something else. Finality. This ends, I say softly. Yes. And we go back to before. He doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he steps closer, so close now that there's no space left to pretend distance is still the rule. Before tonight, he says carefully, there was protocol. And now there's choice. The kiss doesn't happen quickly. It doesn't need to. The tunnel is still rising around us. The lights are still humming. Time is still pressing. But we've already made it through the worst part. I tilt my head up. He leans down. The kiss is slow, deliberate, his hand warm at my jaw, thumb brushing my cheek like he's memorizing the shape of it. My fingers curl into the front of his jacket, anchoring myself to something solid. There's no rush. No desesperación. Just relief and recognition and the quiet understanding that this wasn't about fear. It was about honesty. When we part, our foreheads rest together. That was before evacuation, I murmur. Yes, he replies softly. Exactly. The radio crackles again. Begin evacuation. Stairwell access opening now. A metallic click echoes above us. The door unlocks. Fresh air rushes down the stairs, cool and sharp, carrying the distant sounds of the city. Cars, voices, life continuing without us. We don't move right away. You ready? He asks. Yes, I say. Are you? He smiles faintly. Yes. We climb the stairs together. Step by step. The tunnel fades below us, sealed behind steel and water and memory. When we emerge onto the street, dawn is just beginning to break. Pale light spreading across wet pavement. The city looks ordinary. That feels strange. Emergency crews swarm the entrance, shouting updates, checking equipment. Someone hands me a towel. Someone else asks my name. He stays close without crowding me. When it's over, when we're cleared, debriefed, released, we stand off to the side, quiet amid the noise. So I say, back to normal. He considers that. No, he says. Forward. I smile. I like that better. Weeks later, the subway line is sealed permanently. I pass the entrance one evening on my way home. The barricades are up. The lights inside are off. I pause for a moment. Then my phone vibrates. Still thinking about flooded tunnels? His message reads. I smile as I type back. Only the parts worth keeping. A reply comes quickly. Dinner? Somewhere dry. I laugh softly to myself. Yes, I type. I choose that. Some places close forever. Others open quietly, without warning, without force. All it takes is staying long enough to notice when something changes. And choosing not to walk away when it does.